What questions or problems are you working to solve?
So, in regards to questions that I like to solve or problems, when I created Pharmacist Women Networking Group, it truly was to solve a problem. I felt that pharmacist women were not, there was no venue for us to meet each other and to network. And I knew that there was a crisis in terms of venues and options for pharmacists who were female in different settings of pharmacy. They're just people wanted to work in different spaces. They didn't want to necessarily do the traditional things. And so when you realize like there's no venue for us to meet and there's a crisis happening in the field where people want to change roles or people are getting to different points in their lives and the traditional role may not fit in where they are with their life today, there had to be something to be done. And so when I kind of looked around, searched online, I didn't really find a space for women to just network. And so I felt if this doesn't exist, maybe I should create it. Maybe that's, if I start this group, is there a way for and a space for us to be able to actually meet in person and start getting to know each other and start learning, because knowledge is power, information is power. And so when you don't know what you don't know, how can you make a change, right? And so I knew that we needed a space to get to know each other and to share information, and that could potentially lead to solving this problem of women having a chance to network with each other on a professional level, and then in turn be able to think through what other career choices are there out there that maybe I'd be interested in and can pursue.
Why have you chosen to pursue this question or problem?
I decided to pursue this because we needed help. We needed a solution, and when I also one of the other things that I noticed was a problem was that even wanting to move into leadership positions, within traditional settings was not always super easy as a female. And so we saw the transition of pharmacists truly like go from a majorly men dominated profession, and it flipped, over the, decades, it flipped to becoming a more female dominated profession. But when I looked at leadership, it still was very male dominated. And so that was really another reason why I knew that we had to do something different. We had to start talking to each other as females. We had to start reaching hands back and lifting each other up. We had to start communicating with each other so that we could learn what we didn't know, and we could learn how do we move into those positions. Like there's not a real space per se, a formal space for pharmacists even mentoring, And so when I thought through this, I was like, we got to do something. And literally like pharmacist women just kind of popped into my head as the name of an organization, Pharmacist Women Networking. And that was like, I don't care whether you or whatever setting you're in, none of that matters. If you're a female in pharmacy, and even pharmacy students, if that is your category, all are welcome. All are welcome to come and pursue these networking opportunities, because you might know what a few people do as a pharmacist. All of us probably have friends who are other pharmacists, but we don't sometimes go outside of that. And so how do we create this space where we can expand our network? And then interestingly enough, through that expansion, we actually, I think, found friends, and we expanded even our friend network. So we're not just there talking about work. Of course, that is a large component of what we discuss, but we talk about travel, we talk about families, extended families, we talk about all different sorts of things. And I think that's been the beauty of the whole networking association, is that I think we've formed some pretty cool friendships. And so, yes, we've learned about different work settings, and we've learned about different people and what they've done in their careers and how they got to those places. Absolutely. But we've learned other things too, just about the human experience. We have learned about each other as people. So it's not just a work thing. It truly has now become a space that I look forward to going to on a monthly basis, because I'm going to see a lot of my friends there, and people who've now become friends over the years of the organization.
As individuals and collectively as a society, what can we do to help answer the questions or solve these problems?
So to solve some of these problems, I think we're on the forefront of doing that through the organization. I think we're 100% now. I have looked back over the years, and I have seen women helping other women. Like, what more could we ask for? I have seen organizations, pharmacists get into organizations, and I'm talking about 3, 4, 5, 6 pharmacists who met through Pharmacist Women, who now all work at the same organization because we've decided to solve the problem. We've decided to communicate with each other and work with each other to help solve this problem. And I mean, I think it's such an incredible thing to think through, like, wow, this is something that was sort of a brainchild several years back. And now I have women coming up to me, and this actually just happened to me a couple weeks ago at the Healthcare Advocate Summit. I was there for a conference in Las Vegas, and there were 2 pharmacists that I met years ago. One didn't have a job. She had just been laid off from her role. And her and her friend, this was a virtual networking event that we had hosted during COVID, and they decided to join the networking meeting, the virtual networking meeting. And we talked through a very non-traditional role that a pharmacist could do. And fast forward 4 years later, I'm at a conference in Las Vegas, and I get to meet these 2 ladies, and both of them, I mean, it was just like, I couldn't believe I was finally meeting them in person. And the most crazy thing I think that they said to me was, this organization changed my life. What you have created has actually changed my life. I am in a field I never thought I'd be in a non-traditional role. I have a much, much better work-life balance that I didn't have before. I'm able to be with my children. I'm able to do the things that, I want to do professionally. I'm feeling fulfilled as a professional. And to have someone walk up to you and say that, when I'm just like, let me start this group and let's all start talking, not really imagining that people would ever say, like, oh my goodness, this changed my life. I never went into this with that thought in my head that anybody would ever say that to me. But it just was confirmation that, when you see a problem, you don't see a solution, and you decide to create that solution, and you do it with a good intent, that people will come. And not only that, people will find it fulfilling, and apparently it can change their life, which is insane to think about. But I just feel very blessed to even really be in the situation that I'm in, to have this organization, and for us to have found other career pathways. My career pathway has changed since the start, of this organization. I'm in a non-traditional role. I'm in a role that I never imagined that I would be in through networking. And the fact that you can give that gift to another pharmacist that might be struggling where they are is really, really incredible. And I honestly feel very grateful and thankful that women do come out on a monthly basis. They do reach out, they do connect, they're willing to help each other. I feel very grateful to be the conduit of that interaction. It's a blessing. It's something I never imagined, a spot I never imagined that I'd be in, but very grateful to have the seat that I have, the venue that I have, the ladies that still always continue to amaze me that come out. And the fact that they're creating friendships with each other and they believe in what we're doing and they're bringing their friends and we're connecting. Like that is just incredible to me. And I think we have solved some problem in some small way. We have solved a problem. Other ladies to do is reach out to somebody, allow someone to reach out to you. You know, take this charge seriously. We all do different things and we're all good at something. We're really good at something. And there's someone that could benefit from that mentorship, from that friendship, from that networking opportunity. So I would encourage the pharmacists, especially maybe some of the seasoned pharmacists that are out there, to, you know, help support someone who's struggling, support another pharmacist who's struggling. Think through your network. Is there someone in your network that can help them? Don't be shy. If you're the one who needs help, don't be shy. Reach out to people. You know, LinkedIn is a powerful tool. And while not everybody's going to respond to you there, I think most people will. So if there's somebody out there doing something that you find extremely interesting, reach out to them. Ask them for 15-minute conversation, a 20-minute conversation. Most people would be willing to give that to you. And I just think, though, we don't always think to ask, or we get asked and we maybe don't follow up on that ask. So I would encourage truly anyone out there to, especially if you're ready for a career change, reach out to someone who is doing something that you find extremely interesting and see if they won't talk to you about it. I promise you, most people will.